sports chat for a Friday night ahead of a very busy weekend. And interestingly, people have been phoning up from around the country today, and there is snow. There was snow all over East Anglia, snow up north. The weather is bloody cold out there, so that might have an impact on the sport this weekend. It's one of those days where, first of all, before we discuss the fixtures, I thought we might want to talk about what we would have been doing if there'd been supporters in the ground on a cold, snowy Saturday. Yeah? How about Papa B? Tell us, what would you be doing on a cold Saturday if you were going to watch football? What would you be eating, drinking, how early? What would you be wearing?
The first thing I would have done, I would have probably had a nice hot West Indian meal prior to going to the game. And whilst arriving at the game, I think they got a few West Indian takeaways there. I would have probably had another one of them, mate. That would have warmed me up for the rest of the evening. Definitely.
How many layers?
Some mutton curry. Yeah.
And how many layers and hats and all the kit?
Just standard, that, like the woolly hat, scarf, few jackets, because I'm not good with the cold. I'm a wuss, to be honest with you, with the cold. No, 100%. Me and the cold don't get on. So yeah, I would have been wrapped up, couple of jackets, couple of trousers. And what do you call them things you wear under the trousers? What do you call them things?
Long johns.
That's the one.
Long johns.
I would have had my long johns on. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Definitely. How about you, Ash? What do you wear?
I would have been wearing my red Berghaus because it's Liverpool colours. I would have been going there in red. Liverpool top underneath. What would they have eaten? Some healthy vegan food.
Okay,
something healthy.
The one thing I was, particularly when I've been going over the last few years, and I go and watch City whenever I can, away, etc. But I go to Palace, and they stand just like the old days. So I always pay attention to what where my feet. I try and wear Doc Martens soles because the concrete is bloody cold at Palace. And you stood for the whole ground.
Yeah, the concrete goes straight through.
Yeah, you can feel the cold rise from your feet.
Yeah.
You can hardly walk for your half-time beer.
Well, I tell you something, Ian. I used to do the outer perimeter traffic marshalling at Tottenham and Chelsea. And you're talking about 12-hour shifts in the cold. You got your jacket on, but like you said, it goes right through your boots, man.
Yeah.
Right. It was hard, but it was good though because you got to meet the players. Got your signatures from the players. They're quite reasonable, easy to talk to. Yeah, it was good. I got a good 5 years of that.
Cool. It's funny. I miss those freezing matches more than anything else. I remember going with my mate Rick, who's this huge American guy, and he's a Fulham fan. And a couple of years ago, we went on New Year's Day. And Fulham's ground is right next to the river, and the tickets we have were right at the end of the row, on that side, right next to the river. I have never been so cold in my whole life. I was absolutely freezing.
I know exactly how you felt. Yeah.
There's no side on the stadium at Fulham. There's no side on the grounds. The wind just comes straight across the river into the side of the ground. The terrace. That was beyond. That was beyond. But question for you, quick quiz question for you. And when I'm watching Palace sometimes Saturday afternoon, there's a famous Palace fan who makes the beer that you drink at the Palace grounds. So you hop out of the stand, and this ex-celebrity has a brewery, so he makes all the beer. So you drink somebody's beer. Who is it?
You got me.
No idea.
Neil Morrissey from Men's Behaving Badly. He's
right.
He makes the beer for Palace. You go at half time. You go and have a Palace pie and a pint of Neil Morrissey ale. It's amazing.
He's not a Londoner, is he? Is he a Londoner? He's not a Londoner, is he?
He must be for supporting them lot.
Yeah, he must be. Anyway, let's crack on. As we were talking before we went on air, there's some make or break games this weekend, so we can spend a little bit more time talking about that. But first up, and this is such a toughie to predict. Burnley, who played like a dreamer against Palace, got wiped off the field by City, at home to an Everton. I don't know what team's going to turn up. So, Ash, what do you reckon? Unpredictable Everton.
I think Everton are going to tear them apart. It's only a matter of time before Ancelotti get things right. He's got loads of decent players. I'm liking Allen in the middle. I'm liking a few of their players. Rodriguez. It's only a matter of time before they start winning a few games. And it's Burnley, so yeah.
They're going to miss Ding at left back, aren't they? He's pretty good. But,
they've got a replacement. Who is it? I forgot who it is. Not Coleman, the other one. Baines. Where's Baines?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Leighton Baines. Yeah, because he did sign a contract extension and he's certainly got a really good cross in it. What do you reckon, Papa B?
Well,
Burnley, Everton.
Well, Everton, they lost to Southampton, but they beat Palace. So it's a bit crazy, but that's down to dropping form at the present moment. I think when they do meet Burnley, they will turn Burnley over. Burnley's struggling right now. And the crazy thing is they had that big result against City. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, 5-0. So, I think Everton will do this.
Stick a score on it. What do you reckon?
But bear in mind, they also lost the Leeds as well. So
I'm going with 2-1.
It won't be an easy one, but they'll turn them over. They'll turn them over.
Ash says 2-1. What do you reckon? Papa B?
I say 3-1 Everton.
3. So you're going bigger win.
Yeah,
so
based on Burnley's form right now.
1-3, 1-2. It's weird. It's a really tough one. I rate Sean Dyche. I think he's a highly intelligent manager. I think there could be a disappointing draw in there for Everton. I'm going to put it at 1-1. That's in my book, but you guys could well be right, depending on what Everton team turns up, how much Rodriguez puts it on. Calvert-Lewin is a bit unstoppable, but to be fair, Burnley, if you're going to pick their strongest positions, it's at centre back. I think Ben Mee is a great player, and Tchaikovsky. So Calvert-Lewin won't get much change out of those two lads, but let's see.
In my opinion,
and I'll let you.
Whatever Everton team turns up, they'll still be good enough to beat Burnley, if that makes sense. If they don't play at their best, I think they'll still beat Burnley. I'm only basing this on Burnley's form at the moment. It's pretty bad. You look at their stats; it's pretty bad.
Interesting comment just coming up on the screen from Charlie Williams saying Everton are suffering from a lack of confidence at present. Yeah,
I think right. They are.
They did all right against Leeds, but Leeds were just better than them. It won't be as good. It won't be against somebody like Burnley. He'll be able to just take on the man and just supply Calvert-Lewin all day long.
I'm not sure, but you see, Calvert-Lewin, physical centre forward, but that's where Burnley are at their strongest. You're falling into the Burnley trap. I'm not certain. Anyway, I will let you fine gentlemen comment on this next wonderful game. Man City at home to Fulham. Fulham fresh off their first win of the season, was it the other day?
Yes, that's correct.
And they're out of the bottom for Fulham, and I've got to say, Scotty Parker, you can't help but love him. He's a great guy, great footballer. I hope he makes it. What do you think, Ash?
Scott Parker's all right and stuff, but he's got Man City doing okay. They're playing one-touch football again, so they've got no chance this weekend. There's nothing Scott Parker can do. Not in this match. No. He'll have to write this match off and think about next week.
Papa B?
Have we got fans at this game? Have we got fans at this one?
No, Manchester's tier 3, so there's no fans. No jokes.
It's at the Eastland, yeah. I think City will do it. I'm going 2-1. 2-1 City.
2-1 City. Ash?
Yeah.
4-0, maybe even 5.
Big
5-0.
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Charles is on there saying 3-0 to City. I hope so. I think he's probably right.
Mahrez.
Getting a hat trick the other day was weakish opposition. To be fair, City have turned Burnley over. I can't remember 4 games on the trot, 5-0, something like that. Some kind of weird record. Yeah, I think City will do it. I think 3-0. I'm with Charles there. I'm going with him. Okay. And any other thoughts on that? I mean, that's
Mahrez is on form.
Throw one out there. Really, really bugs me. When Palace were playing Burnley, and myself and there's about 5 Palace mates on WhatsApp, we were all going, why are 6 Palace players wearing gloves? And then the very next game, 4 Man City players were playing in gloves, like Mahrez, and I couldn't get my head around it.
What do people have against gloves?
I wonder what the gloves record is. I wonder what the gloves record is for a team. What's the most amount of gloves? I did notice Sean Dyche did not let any Burnley players play in gloves.
What's wrong with gloves?
Yeah, it's meant to be a contact sport, a physical sport.
But if you play more comfortably in gloves, what's the
players? They're not made of the same stuff the players of old. You know, I mean, I must admit, when I see them with gloves, I think, come on, man, toughen up. But that's what the players of today are doing, man.
What about
people really?
Maybe a snood next, a snood or a scarf, maybe. How about some leggings, like funny leggings? You know what comes after? Where do we go from there?
Well, some of us have got sensitive hands.
Yeah, but when we were kids and playing football, we didn't wear gloves.
Yeah, well, Mahrez wearing a beanie next. If all the rest of the players turn up in gloves, Mahrez will have a beanie on, and
that's it. You never know when it starts raining, they'll all have umbrellas.
There you go. Anyway, right, next one up. Right, fill your boots here, chaps. Fill your boots. This is probably this one and the North London derby have to be for the neutral. Have to be the highly, let's say the maximum charged electric games of the weekend. Man United. David Moyes, week off from West Ham. United played in the week. Trip down to London. David Moyes and West Ham playing Man United with Solskjaer fresh on the back of not taking Fred off and paying the penalty for that. Green as the grass, schoolboy manager. Wolves. Who wants to go first?
Okay, because I'm a Spurs fan, I'm going to go first.
Go.
Now, bearing in mind, both these teams have had their games in Europe. I think Spurs had theirs before Arsenal, is that right?
No, West Ham, Man United.
West Ham and United we're talking about?
Yeah. West Ham have had a whole week's rest. United playing in Europe, got beat by Paris Saint-Germain.
That's right.
Not a good performance by all accounts. David Moyes rubbing his hands with glee. A massive chip on his shoulder about United. Cool. Come on, what do you reckon? He will have them fired up to hell, won't he?
Moyes is going to want this badly. He's going to want this badly. And let's be fair, West Ham's form of late isn't bad at all. I think if I'm correct, they've had 4 straight wins, 3-4 straight wins in a row. Yeah.
Well, and Liverpool were a bit lucky against West Ham. City got held by West Ham. They're a serious outfit this season. Serious outfit.
Correct. They could do this. They could do this. They could do this. West Ham could do this with United blowing the hot and cold, and West Ham is consistent right now. They could do this. I'm going for a West Ham win on this one.
If West Ham win, so if United lose, if City trounced Fulham, and then the Manchester derby next weekend, you've got to feel that's the element for Solskjaer.
Absolutely. I mean, if he loses this one, and there's two losses on the bounce in the Premier League, very detrimental.
I've just seen a comment from Adam, of course. I think the performance was good from United on Wednesday, but they couldn't finish. I think it's a 2-2 draw.
He thinks a
I'm
2-2
thinking
draw.
draw, yeah. Draw.
I'm going for 2-1. Went 2-1 the Hammers.
2-1 to the Hammers. Ash,
I'm saying 1-1. Scrappy 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, Man United to come back late again, rescued again.
It's funny, Solskjaer has bailed himself out of prison every time the door's almost been closed on him, hasn't he? Everyone's about to turn the key on his prison cell, and then somehow he pulls something out, doesn't he?
This one's not going to be easy for him to pull out.
It's because nobody wants a job.
Cavani looked really useful, though, didn't he? Cavani looked really useful.
This is Cavani. Yes, he's going to be a big threat. He's for the age he is and coming into the Premier League, he's a good striker. 100%.
2 games in a week though, midweek game and West Ham for Cavani. Did he play a full 90 minutes? I can't remember in the middle of the week.
I don't think he did. No, he didn't. He didn't do the full 90. But he changed the game when he came on.
Yeah.
So definitely game changer.
Cavani could be the factor. I'm going to go 1, much as I don't want it to be. My brain says United might have a bit too much nous. 1-1. I guess Fred will be suspended in Europe, but doesn't affect domestic, does it?
No. I mean, it's funny now that you've mentioned.
He lacks mobility, but he's a combative, high energy player. I don't think he's good enough to, as we talked about last week. Pogba could be a good player for United, but he's such a lazy player.
He is lazy.
To have an absolute world-class holding midfielder. You have to have a Mascherano, a Busquets, an N'Golo Kante. You have to have someone absolutely world-class to cover for him. Because, boy, you've got to cover for him. He's a lazy player.
Yeah.
You need 2 players to cover for him.
Freddie's
not enough to cover for him. So
can I just say, Ian, because you got me a thinking now because of Cavani. I'm starting to change my mind.
That's all right.
I might go for draw on this one,
Ooh, three of us. 1-1, 2-1. 2-1.
2-2 draw. Cavani is dangerous. He is dangerous.
Moisey wants his bad. He wants it bad. He's going to be scrapping for it.
Yeah.
I wonder how much Europe will tell on those teams at the weekend. I mean, I think, as I said last week, when City came back from Europe and had Burnley, I thanked my lucky stars. City coming back from Europe playing Fulham, I'm kind of thanking my lucky stars. In a way, I am so happy Man City haven't got to go to West Ham after a European midweek game. I really am. I wouldn't be that hopeful. I think United have got their work cut out. They really are. If they can get a draw out of it, I think they'll be singing on the coach going home there.
Absolutely.
Or the plane or whatever it is. What did Roy Keane say? What was his comments like? With some performers, he'd get them to have to walk home or get a taxi or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, wanted to beat up David De Gea after one of the matches.
Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't let him on the coach. He's just a headline grabber. But there you go. Let's see. Okay, moving on. The last game, and it's always a bit weird having a game in the middle of Saturday evening. I find, the 5:30 game I can get my head around. We're kind of used to 4 o'clock games or 5 o'clock games on a Saturday, but it's only in Europe that you usually have games in the middle of a Saturday evening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's at 8 o'clock Saturday night. I often forget these games are on. But again, could be an interesting one for the neutral if you want a bit of Strictly Come Dancing, a bit of entertainment, a bit of free-flowing football. Chelsea Leeds, maybe.
Listen, Chelsea. Listen, Giroud.
Hang on, sorry. Stop you there. It's really interesting. Charles Williams has just put up, isn't he getting banned, Cavani? He made that, what could be a racist joke or comment that he should know a lot better from. A man of his experience should know a lot better to make a stupid statement like that. When are they reviewing that? When are they reviewing that?
I don't know, but if he hasn't been banned yet, if he hasn't been banned by now,
it's got to be
before the game.
Future, isn't it? Not now.
Yeah, it won't happen before the game anyway.
How much thinking do you have to? How much of a panel do you have to put together to decide on that stupid?
I mean, it's ridiculous. There's no excuse. So I don't know what the problem is.
You don't need VAR for that one, do you?
No, for once. Yeah.
Okay, but if he's playing, we reckon it's going to be a draw. So, sorry, back to you, Papa B. Chelsea Leeds could be exciting Saturday night.
Listen, Giroud, man, he's thrown some spanner in the works. He's got Lampard's got some thinking to do because Tammy Abraham is doing it as well. However, if he picks Giroud, Tammy's on the bench. Tammy's on the bench.
Twice in a week again.
You know, it's difficult. Giroud is good what he does. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
those goals were beautifully taken. He moved the ball across his feet for those first two goals so well.
Arsenal need him back.
I think that's it.
What's that, Ashley?
Arsenal could do with him back. Aubameyang's not getting any goals in.
Oh, yeah, of course. Arsenal could do with loads of people right now, but I feel it for Tammy because he's put a lot of effort in to get where he is there. But Giroud could just step into that.
Hot and cold, though, Tammy Abrahams. You know, he seems to put it together in half a dozen to 10 game spurt, and then he kind of disappears for a while.
You say he blows hot and cold, but Giroud doesn't always play every game, so it's a bit of this and a bit of that. But right now, for this game, you know what? Giroud could even sit this one out. I think.
Yeah, I think he could go back to being a late impact player there if they really need him.
Yeah, for this one, yeah.
Leeds a really energetic team, high energy team. You know, the likes of Abraham and Wiener are going to have to do as much of a defensive job.
Wiener, he's a Wiener.
Did I say Wiener?
Yeah, you did.
How do you pronounce it?
That's his name. That's his name, Wiener. No, Werner. Wiener.
Yeah.
So go on, put a score on it.
I'm going to put a score on this one. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Think Leeds might score first?
I reckon they're good enough to get a goal.
Oh yeah, I mean they're such a high energy first.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Chelsea have played in the week. They've got to play a really highly sparked up Leeds team. You know, Chelsea might have to watch their last quarter. The last quarter of the game, if they tire a bit, and Leeds will keep going at them and keep going at them.
Frank Lampard is lucky the Leeds fans are not allowed in that game because they've got all sorts of songs ready for him. Do you know from the from when Derby and Leeds was in the playoff final? They hate him. So yeah, he got off lightly.
Yeah. They sing about Jimmy Savile at Leeds, you know. Jimmy Savile.
They said they sing about he's one of them. I think he's one of them.
Yeah, he's one of our own. Jimmy Savile is one of our own. That's bad.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, Chelsea unbeaten in 8. Unbeaten in 8. So I think they're the second longest team to be unbeaten.
Could Leeds get anywhere near them?
Yeah, easily. Well, they just went to Everton and beat them, so yeah, they can beat Chelsea.
You think so? Okay, what's your forecast there?
I might even predict. All right, then 2-win Leeds.
Okay, that's interesting because every game that we've predicted so far, the three of us, we've been pretty consistent and agreed. So we agreed pretty much all the way. Apart from I stuck out. I thought the Everton game, Burnley would be a draw, but all the way through the City, the West Ham, where we said it was a draw. This is the first one that's gone either way. But God, it'll be. I have no idea. This one is the most unpredictable of the whole lot. Leeds, they're going to concede. They're going to concede, aren't they? At least a couple of goals, Leeds. Will Chelsea run out of energy after the mid-game when Leeds run out? I'm sorry, I'm going to go with Ash on it. I think it's going to be... Sorry, I'm going to go with Papa B on this one. I think it's going to be a Chelsea win, but I think Leeds are going to run them really, really hard, and maybe even Chelsea might score the first 2 goals, and then Leeds will pull them back by 1, and then it'll get really, really dicey for them. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I'm going to go 2-1 with Chelsea scoring 2-0 up, Leeds getting 1 back, and then we hell on earth for the last quarter hour.
Don't forget though, Ian, if it did turn out like that, then he's got Giroud. He's got Giroud to try and save the day if need be, you know?
That is true. And there's not much to come on for Leeds, really.
Mm.
The guy that spent all the money on hasn't really started many games. Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Rodrigo.
20-odd million, something like that. But
is he injured? Or is he injured, or is he just blowing hot and cold?
He's been coming off the bench.
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold?
Yeah, hot and cold.
Like Leeds that doesn't have billion bundles of money. They don't have billion bundles, so for them to spend 20 million on one player, it's a bit like when Newcastle shelled out all that money on their forward, Joe Leaton. When you shell out all that money on one player, boy, they've got to turn up, haven't they?
Absolutely.
But okay, we're going to go with that. Right. So that was Saturday. So we've got it's quite interesting. How many games we got Saturday? 1, 2, 3, 4 games Saturday, but actually, and 4 games Sunday. So it actually balances it out. And obviously tonight's game was coroned out. So lunchtime. I don't know whether that matters any. You know, Jurgen Klopp doesn't seem to like lunchtimes too much. But the lunchtime game is West Brom. Again, you know, a bit like Scotty Parker. Slaven Bilic, I always feel he's a likeable guy, a lovely fella. You can't not want him to win. You know, those 2 managers, you think, oh gosh, you know, I hope they don't get the sack. They're such nice chaps. But West Brom have had a win. God knows what's happened to Crystal Palace. I can't explain it. Everyone puts it down to Zaha, but I'm not convinced. But West Brom Palace, Ash, have a go at that one.
I'm going to say Crystal Palace. Just a flick of a coin. I don't know.
Put a score on it.
2-0 Crystal Palace. Benteke might finally get a go. He hasn't scored in a long time. That's dream. That's a bit la la land, but there you go. Give it a go. I'm hoping for him.
West Brom Palace, pull them apart.
West Brom, okay, beat Sheffield 1-0. I think they got lost 6, draw 3, and one win, I think.
Palace
and I'm not sure if Zaha is he out because of COVID? He's out.
So yeah, he should be back. I think so, yeah.
He should be back. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a Palace win. I'm gonna go with a Palace win. Yeah.
How much?
2-0.
Okay. Yeah, the only comment I want on this game, I thought this could be one of Palace's best ever seasons. Keeping Zaha, Eze looks like a great player, getting Batshuayi back, and actually Palace have nearly, because they seem to suffer from terrible injuries, particularly at the back, and they seem to be getting most of their players fit. I can't get Batshuayi. Batshuayi, when he plays for Belgium, looks like one of the top strikers of the world. And then at Chelsea, at Palace, what's the expression? You can't hit a barn door with a banjo, or a cow's arse with a banjo. He looks like a striker. He swaggers like a striker. He strides around. He looks the part, doesn't he? But his performance in front of goal is bloody terrible. It's a weird one. I can't get it. My mates at Palace say one day he's going to really cut loose and score a hat trick, and then it'll all flood, and Batshuayi will be the player, etc. But how long have we got to wait? How long have we got to wait for this? I don't know. I think Palace will have too much for West Brom. I think they will. And I think with Zaha, Charles says he thinks Zaha is still out.
I hope he's back for the West Ham game so he can shake hands with Moise.
I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm actually gonna go for a 0-0 draw. I think Roy will be pretty petrified. I was looking on Twitter at some of the comments, and some of the fans are very, very unhappy about Roy at Palace. They feel it's time for a change. I think Roy will go back to being Roy, which he'll tighten it all up. He'll get it super regimented. He'll look for a break, and if Zaha isn't playing, I'm not certain where the break's going to come from. It could be 0-0.
Okay. But we haven't got confirmation of that. Have we?
So, 1979 Hurlock. Says West Brom 2. Palace now.
Yeah, I'm still going for Palace win, but we haven't got confirmation on Zaha, though, have we? It's not in cement, is it, that he's not playing?
No, I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. Little story, interesting for those. I went to Birmingham Uni when hey, maybe Papa B was definitely born, but Ash was probably undoubtedly not born. But I went to Birmingham Uni, and it was the days when West Brom and Villa were fantastic. In my final year at uni, it was the year that Aston Villa won the league. And we used to go and stand at the Holt End, and you got Peter With and Gordon Cowans and Mortimer and Gary Shaw, a fantastic team. But we also used to go and watch West Brom, and at the same time, that was Big Ron Atkinson's first proper club, really. And you had over there Brendan Batson, Laurie Cunningham, Cyril Regis, a whole variety, fantastic team, and they were ace to watch. And what a shame, because I always felt it was a travesty, because Ron Atkinson was the first manager to really champion black players and get right behind it. I mean, they're the best athletic team. And then what happens a couple of decades later? He says some stupid racist comment off screen, and he's finished. And he works so hard in West Brom, a multicultural place, to bring those players on. It's a shame, because he could have been there as a champion of multiracial football. What a shame to throw it away.
Obviously, an alcoholic behaviour. Do you know when an alcoholic just says stuff and they can't control their mouth? Roy Atkinson.
Yeah, you think maybe Ron Atkinson was maybe you're right. Maybe I just thought it was so sad, because those players loved him, and he loved those players, and he was the first really to bring them on. And I just thought it was a shame. It was great. I mean, they were such an exciting team.
Yeah, they were.
I just got lucky at that time. It was Birmingham, and it was weird, because it was the Birmingham scene at the time. So as well as Villa winning the league and West Brom, it was the one era of the Birmingham music scene. They had UB40, The Beat, Toots and the Maytals. It was all happening in like in the 90s. It all kind of happened in Manchester and the Manchester scene, and Sir Alex and Beckham and all that sort of era, and it was all about Manchester. Well, that era, football and music coincided, and it was all about the Birmingham sound, the Birmingham football players. It's weird, that, isn't it? Where music and football sometimes get interlinked, to be almost like coming to a crescendo of the greatest football moments and then the greatest music moments.
Posh and Becks.
Interesting. Anyway, sorry, I'm taking a nostalgic trip there to Birmingham. All right, up the baggies. Right, okay. Who's next one? Next one out of the bag. Okay, so. Another one really difficult to unpredict. Sheffield United, unstoppable last season. Yep, maybe the goalkeeper going back to United hurt them more than we think. Against Leicester, who looked as though they were going to rip the league up, but the wheels have fallen off the last couple of games. What on earth's going on there? What's going to happen? Go Ash.
Leicester are going to win because Sheffield United are there for the taking. Have they even won the game yet?
No, I don't think they have. I think they've only got 1 point.
There we go. There for the beating.
Yeah.
Vardy will run riot.
Yeah, Vardy. Well, I don't know. I watched the last game. He didn't run riot.
No, he didn't. He looked a bit average, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked like. In respect to Liverpool, that game when Liverpool were coming back from Europe, and it was that Saturday lunch at what it was a difficult game, and boy, Leicester looked average that game.
They haven't been the same since.
They really, really miss that terrific Turkish lad at the back. What's he called? Soyasu?
Something like that.
Boy, I mean, he looks like he's 35 and a serious player, but he's actually like 22 years old. The guy, I really, really rate him. I know when they were thinking about letting Maguire go, and everyone was going, God, Leicester going to sell the best player, but they knew they had that lad in behind. And I have to say, I'm not certain I would swap Maguire for Soyescu when he's back, but I think he picked up an injury because Leicester played Thursday, lost, but they're still in the qualification area UEFA. So Leicester came back after a Thursday Europe game to play Sheffield United, who will be desperately hungry for a win. I wonder whether there'll be an effect there without their best centre half.
Bearing in mind, Ian, on the back of what you just said, I don't think Vardy didn't travel, did he? So he's coming on fresh.
Right. Yeah.
He's coming on fresh. So yeah, he's going to be deadly. He's fresh, ready to go.
Ash, put a score on it first.
Leicester 3-1.
So
it's going to be 1-3.
Yeah.
Papa B, anything else you want to say about the game apart from a forecasted score?
No, I'm going for a big score as well. And the fact that Vardy's had a good rest, he's going to be damaging. So yeah, I'm going for maybe a 3-0.
0-3. I'm going to be controversial on this one. I think Sheffield United are going to get their first win of the season.
Why?
Well, first, I've watched Leicester the last couple of games, and they've looked pretty ropey. So have to play Sunday after Thursday against a team that really, really want a win, who are super fresh, and we know Wilder can get them really running. I just think they could out-energy Leicester. They could really, really run Leicester. It might only be 1-0, but yeah, I think Sheffield United are going to get their first win of the season.
Don't forget, Smarky.
The intent was if I've lost my mind, it's not the first time.
The goalkeeper's had a rest as well. I don't think he travelled either, the Leicester keeper. I think the fact that Vardy's had a good rest, he's going to be dangerous. He might even get all 3 goals.
Maybe you're right. That'll put him back up the top of the Premier League rankings, won't it? If he does that. Okay, right. Let's have some good time on this one. 4:30 on Sunday afternoon at home, but without a crowd. Or will they? No, they are going to have 2,000 because
they're going to. Yeah.
He's a bit of a bonehead. He's going, you should let all the normal supporters in or whatever. But hang on, the club needs to make some money, just like the airlines. It'd be like saying on EasyJet, you've nearly bankrupt. You've not made any money all year, but we should let the 50 quid a flight guys get out of town. It'll be 500 quid to the Canary Islands on EasyJet come this time next year. 2,000 fans, Tottenham, Arsenal. Who wants to go first?
Right, Jose is not going to lose this match because he just loves those big games. Is Harry Kane back?
I think so. Yeah, don't see why not.
Yeah, Tottenham are a better team. They've got better players, better manager.
They rested a lot of players, didn't they, Thursday? They rested a lot of players because, again, second European match. If Dele Alli's in the team, Jose has a go at them, doesn't he? You noticed last time. He had a bit of a go at him.
I can't remember. But yeah, Spurs are just going to be all over him. Arsenal are there for the taking. They're terrible, in fact.
Good old Hans Solo 1979 Herlock reckons 3-0.
Yeah, something like that close. I'm going with 2-0 Spurs.
2-0. Papa B?
I've always wanted to go for a Spurs win, but my only concern is, which I found out a few hours ago, that Casalinga's not going to be in goal. It's going to be Joe Hart.
Really?
So I have some concerns about that in relation to his performance the other night. Yeah, so my understanding, Hart's going to be in goal. That's my only concern, but I'm
What a
still going
game!
for Spurs.
What a game to get your first start. Bloody hell!
Sorry?
What a game! The North London derby for your first league game.
Is David Luiz going to be playing?
I hope so.
Because if Luiz is playing, yeah, I want to boost it up to like 3-0. It just depends. It depends if he's playing or not. It might even be 4.
Go on, your team, Papa B. Go for it. What do you think's the score? You can even say who you think's going to score. This is your moment.
Right, okay, all right. I'm going for Son scoring, Kane scoring. So that's my 2 goals. And again, just the Joe Hart thing is really bugging me.
You're going to miss Alderweireld's injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think there's another one that might not be playing. The rumor has it that Kane might be injured, but I think he'll be right for the derby.
2-0, 2-1, 2-5.
I'm going 2-1 because 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, I think Spurs will win. If I have one request, I want Spurs to win in style. I want them to play. If you want to win the league and you've had a player like Glenn Hoddle as your icon, play some beautiful football.
Jose can't play beautiful.
You're not going to get that in the derby, mate. You're not going to get that in the derby. Trust me. It's going to be war.
I said last week, if you're Palace, if you were Newcastle or Rafa Benitez, if you're just trying to survive in the Premier League, if you're Sheffield United, parking the bus, playing boring football, I get it. But when West Ham booted Sam Allardyce out because he didn't play the West Ham way, I had a lot of respect for that. Because what they were putting was beautiful football and the heritage of their club in front of, some level of success. Come on. I mean, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. If Glenn Hoddle was 25 today, would Jose put him in his team tomorrow? Or would he have him on the bench?
I doubt it, mate, to be honest.
Is that not so sad? Do you really is that desperate to win the league? You'll sell your soul, history, your soul to win it?
I'm not saying that based on how they play. I'm saying that based on Josie, the way, what he wants from you. I don't think he would, mate. I think he'd bench him.
The devil, you're going to sell your soul to the devil to win the league. You don't want to do it in a celestial, gorgeous way that Glenn Hoddle would be proud of.
I hear what you're saying, but Spurs don't play like that every time. And bearing in mind, and I'll put my hands up, they had they did have a mentality when Josie came, which he's trying to sort out. So they did play some crappy football, but I think that's slowly starting to go. And bear in mind, the season's only just started. I think you will get that kind of football from Spurs. Soon, eventually, you will get that.
Pretty much most of those players, Pochettino, and I know it all went a bit wrong at the end, but he had 2 or 3 seasons, I think, of playing pretty beautiful football. I know he didn't quite win the league, maybe a couple of robust players short, but they really played it the Spurs way, the Venables kind of way, you'd happily take the league at whatever cost, whatever.
Beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be
But
choosers.
you know what, Ian? Lately, I had a bit more insight into what the managers have to deal with, running these clubs and coaching and so forth. And sometimes you have to do a certain thing a certain way to get a certain result or go down a certain path with the team. So I think with Josie coming in now, I think he's prepared to win it anyhow. He needs to win it because once he's done that, then he can concentrate on the pretty football that you're speaking of. I think right now, it's not about pretty football, especially in Spurs' situation. We need to get results, get established, then we can do the pretty football.
But you sounded like
Ashley nodding his head. I think you agree with that, Ashley?
I feel pretty football, they need trophies.
Yeah, and that's what they have to do.
What cost to your soul? Anyway, all right, okay, enough of that. So hey, I'm with you guys all the way. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Spurs. Yeah, I feel you worry about Joe and the defense a little bit, but I think he'll have it too tight. So what happens at Arsenal if they lose the North London derby to Arteta? That will put them something like 5th or 6th bottom. You know,
I'd be surprised if he doesn't go.
The boardroom.
I'd be surprised.
When the board of directors meet on Monday, they'll be going, "We ain't qualifying for Europe here, guys. We need to redo our financial plan for 2022 without any European football." And bearing in mind the season they've just had in terms of revenue and money, and the forecasting next year without any European income, it's not going to be a good atmosphere in that boardroom.
Not going to be good. Because we're talking about money here. We're talking about money here. And yeah.
It's very, very soon. If they're going to take a decision, they got a couple of weeks to take a decision, really, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's that Pochettino, going to Real Madrid, going to United. There is only one Pochettino available.
He's not going Arsenal, though, is he?
No.
Why not?
He would never go there because he used to manage Spurs.
He won't go there. He made a statement about going to Arsenal, and he said he'd rather be on the farm. He'd rather be on a farm than go to Arsenal.
What's a farm got to do with it? Why a farm?
I think he's got a farm back home.
See? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Okay. So what do you reckon, chaps? Will Arteta?
It depends on how badly the defeat is. If it's a 5-0 defeat, they might sack him 9 a.m. sharp the next day. But if it's
5-0 defeat, definitely sack him. But
at
the end of the day, a defeat is a defeat. So it's not going to look good for him at all if he loses.
So next weekend, Arsenal, just looking at Arsenal's next game, if he makes it that far, they're at home to Burnley.
Burnley.
So again, the board will go, well, they'll look okay to Burnley, so do we do it now?
Yeah.
But who are they going to replace him with, though? There's nobody there to... They can't give it to Freddie Ljungberg again.
Yeah, Carl coming on there. Arteta doesn't need to leave as we'll be back to square one. He needs backing financially. He can get the best out of any player. I thought he was the real deal. I agree, Carl. He's the real deal. And I said a few weeks ago, the last thing I want, what I loved about Pep's new contract was continuity at City. I've had all those years of bloody Frank Clark and Alan Ball and a new manager in every season, whatever. They were terrible years. So I get that Rome will not be built in a day. I get what Carl's saying, but no European football. Coffers empty from this season. Big ground to run. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. Maybe they'll rise at Burnley and everything will be forgotten. So, just very simple. Will Arteta make it to Burnley? Papa B. Yes or no?
Yes.
Gladiator.
Yeah, will, yeah.
Yeah.
Ash says yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 yeses. 3 yeses. Simon Cowell and the gang have just said 3 yeses. Red light. Arteta stays. Right. Right. Okay. So we said, let's go back to the weekend's game. So we said Tottenham Arsenal. We got all the results. Everyone was going for a Spurs win, and everyone said that Arteta will stay, whatever. So let's see if we're right, chaps. This will be a very interesting game. So again, Sunday evening. I can't get my head around this. Sunday night. Say your prayers, guys. Liverpool are playing Wolves. Jota comes out. No Jimenez. Wow. Really sad out for what looks like a long time. But Jota coming back to Wolves with Liverpool. You've got to go first, Ash. You've got to go first.
Yeah, Jota's going to love it. He knows all the Wolves' weaknesses and stuff, so a bit in Jurgen's ear. But Traore is going to have the game of his life again because he's upset with Jota for getting this move, and he thinks maybe it might be his chance to get he's in the shop window, playing against Liverpool. So yeah, he's going to have the game of his life again. But Liverpool is still going to tear him apart.
I have a little thought on Traore. when you look down the years, like Benjamin Mendy, Martin Mendy at Man City, when you find those really, really muscular players, who are really built with lots and lots of muscles and also depend on pace, they seem to be so susceptible to massive knee injuries. It's just a thought. I've seen it over the years with other really big, fit, muscular players who depend on pace. I
don't know if you remember
his career going, because he's not built like a natural footballer.
No.
I don't know if you remember, Ian. I'm going back a while now. I can't remember what team he played for, but they had this striker, black guy, and he was really muscular built. And the coach actually stopped playing him until he lost some of that muscle. He said, "You got too." Yeah, he stopped playing him because it was too much. He said, "You need to lose it." Yeah, so it was a good point you made there.
Yeah, I was watching a few years ago when City signed Mandala, the guy at the back. They paid all that money for, huge muscular fella, but it was like he put his boots on the wrong feet every week. His footwork was just shocking. And he was coming back from injury, and Glenn Hoddle was in the commentary box, and whoever else was next to Glenn Hoddle said, he's fit, he's ready to come back, he's been doing a lot of hours in the gym. And Glenn Hoddle said, I would never send that guy to the gym. I would just give him a wall, I'd give him a football and say, I'll see you in 5 or 6 hours. Get sharper. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting from Glenn Hoddle. He said, a guy like that does not need the gym. He needs a wall and a football and to close control it from left to right for hours and hours on end. He said, forget it.
It's the wrong build for a footballer. It doesn't work. It's the wrong build for a footballer. It'll work against you, if anything.
So you got to come on, Ash, finish the thoughts off. Liverpool, Wolves, Jota's return, scorers, any controversy?
Yeah, loads of controversy because it's VAR, so there's going to be striking out decisions left, right, and centre. But I'm thinking there's going to be goals galore. I'm thinking maybe a 3-2 or something like that to Liverpool.
3-2, interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else about the game? Any thoughts? Is Jota bound to score?
Yeah, he's bound to score. It's Traore that I'm worried about because I can see Robbo getting forward and having to chase Traore back, and it'll be funny. It's going to be hilarious, but Liverpool are going to win.
Here's a word to Robbo: don't piss him off.
Yeah, but
you don't want to meet him outside the ground, do you? You don't want to wait for you.
He's weak anyway. He got thrown to the floor by Holding, so all that muscle don't mean nothing with Traore.
Yeah, who was the player who said, "Look at the size of that guy. He's built like a shithouse, and he's just throwing himself." Look. Yeah, that was it. That was funny. That was a great comment, wasn't it? Loved it. Loved that comment. Come on then, Papa B. Liverpool.
Well, like I said before, Liverpool have proved themselves. And I agree with Ashley. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be tight. Could be a 5-goal game. Only because mentally, Wolves are strong. Mentally, they're a strong side. So I'm going for 3-2 win Liverpool. Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Be interesting. Both played in the week. You're right. I think it'll be a wide open game. Lots of action. I think Liverpool's tier 2, isn't it? Manchester's tier 3. So technically, Liverpool should have some fans. That'd be.
Why didn't they tell me?
Huh?
They didn't tell me.
I think that's the rules, isn't it? It's tier 2, so technically, Spurs they should have some fans.
Yeah.
So Chelsea Leeds. Chelsea should have some fans, I think, as well.
That's right. Tier 2 in London, yeah.
I think I was reading they're still going to have the fake fan noise, which when I've got the option, I can't work out the BT button, but the Sky one, I can. I never have that on. I love hearing the shouts and yells for the players.
Yeah.
Liverpool Wolves. I think you're right. It's going to be free flowing. There's going to be a lot of goals. Jota's going to score. It's just a given, isn't it? I think Liverpool will score more. I think it could be 4-1. I think Liverpool will go a bit wild there.
Okay.
I'm not certain where Wolves' 2 goals are going to come from without Jimenez. I think they'll give it a good go, but I don't think they'll be very lethal up front. And boy, Liverpool can be unforgivable when those 3 up front get going. And then Firmino will come on later, and if Jota hasn't done the business by then, he'll make something happen. Interesting.
He's a great game changer. I like that guy. I do like him.
He's a super intelligent player.
Yeah.
An intelligent player. We've seen him down the years. We do have a Monday night game, and usually, if you were saying Brighton, Southampton, you'd be falling asleep now, or you'd be dragging beer. But boy, Southampton are doing it.
Did they not get their manager sacked? Did the manager get sacked?
When?
Parky. I heard Parky got sacked.
No. He was at. He's on a lower division team. He got sacked at. Parkinson was sacked. He'll come back to me, but definitely not Southampton. They've got Hessenthaler, Hesselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff. Don't hassle the Hoff, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, you got the on and the Hoff button, yeah?
Mm.
So, is it going to be the on button or the Hoff button tomorrow? Yeah? Off. Brighton, Southampton. Go on, Ash.
I'm thinking Southampton. I don't know why. I just think Southampton. No, in fact, I need to change that. I think Brighton, because I've seen how they performed against Liverpool, and I think, you know what, they're a decent team.
Yeah, they're a decent team, and Potter's a good manager. So stick a score on it.
2-1 to Brighton.
2-1. Papa B, Brighton, Southampton. Are you going to be watching this, or you got something better to do on Monday night than Brighton, Southampton? It's not.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. If I'm working, I won't be watching it anyway. But if I'm not, I will be.
Yeah.
However, simply because I can't call this one I cannot call. So I'm going to go down the middle. I'm going for a draw. 1-1 draw.
1-1.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I can't call this. I don't know what the heck's going to happen. Brighton, Southampton. There's got to be a goal. Yeah. I like the idea of a 1-0.
Is Danny Ings going to be playing?
I think he's out for a few weeks.
All right. Southampton not getting no goals.
So in summary, when we had Burnley-Everton, we all felt that was pretty nailed onto Everton, but I took a flyer at a 1-0. City-Fulham, we all felt no doubt City were going to win that one. West Ham, Man United, we all went for a draw. We didn't go for we thought about that one. We didn't go for the We Hate United emotional stuff. We thought Solskjaer will dig deep, that he will turn a result again around to get a draw there, which I think Errol will be very proud of us all. Errol, hope you're proud of us. None of us said United would lose.
I'm hoping they lose.
Chelsea Leeds, we all thought was a bit weird, even though we thought it would be a humdinger. We said there would be no more than 2-1, and we were uncertain which way that was going to go. West Brom, Crystal Palace, we all went. Well, you two went for Crystal Palace, no doubt. It was me, who watches Palace regularly, who was worried it could be a Roy stalemate because he just wouldn't want to lose it. And then Sheffield United, Leicester. This was where I think I'd better go and have a lie down after this, because you thought Leicester were going to romp it. Vardy was going to have a party, and I thought Sheffield United were going to get their first win of the season purely because I thought Leicester might be knackered and Sheffield United will be so determined. But hey, what do I know? Spurs, Arsenal, we were super consistent. Spurs was going to win. Super consistent. Arteta would keep his job ready to beat Burnley. Liverpool, Wolves, we all said Liverpool were going to win that by a decent chunk, with Jota scoring, probably not celebrating. And then we had Brighton, who it seems like we all respect Brighton. Potter, the way they play, they're a good. and Southampton, probably maybe the two most underrated teams in the Premier League. And they both try to play decent football. They're both punching above their weight. And we went 2 draws apart. If Mash said Brighton would take it. Interesting. Yeah. Well, enjoy your weekend, chaps. Enjoy the
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm going to work tomorrow morning, do some stores, and I'm going to leg it back. I should be sprinting up the stairs just before 3 to watch City. So, but enjoy the games, and I think West Ham United against Man United and Spurs Arsenal for the neutrals. I'd say book your seats. Adios, chaps.
All right.
Adios.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody. Best wishes.
Right.
Cheers.